All right, we're going to call to order the second public hearing for fiscal year 2015-16. It's Thursday, September 24th at 6:30. Roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Coviello?
Here?
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Here.
Commissioner Watts? Commissioner Jonas?
Yeah.
And Commissioner Ross?
Here.
All right, welcome everyone. If we would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public comments. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment period. Ordinance 2015-06.
Ordinance 2015-06, an ordinance of the Village Commission of the Village of Biscayne Park, Florida, establishing the 2015-2016 millage rate at 9.70 mils for each $1,000 of assessed valuation upon real and personal property within the village limits of the Village of Biscayne Park, providing for an effective date. Pursuant to Florida law, this has to be announced during the public hearing, or excuse me, at this meeting. The fiscal year 2015-2016 operating millage rate for the Village of Biscayne Park is set at 9.7 mils per each $1,000 of assessed value, as certified by the Miami-Dade property appraiser, as shown upon the real property assessment rolls for the 2015 calendar year, which is 10.9% greater than the rollback rate of 8.7468 mils. This is a request to approve, adopt, and also to set a public, or to have a public hearing.
Okay, Mr. Village Attorney, thank you. So we'll open it up to the public. And seeing none, we'll close the public comment.
Motion in favor?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Jonas, second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes.
Commissioner Jonas?
Yep.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Watts?
No.
And Mayor Coviello?
Yes. Motion carries 4-1. Okay, ordinance 2015-07.
This is ordinance number 2015-07, an ordinance of the Village Commission of the Village of Biscayne Park, Florida, adopting a budget for fiscal year 2015-2016. The Village of Biscayne Park providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is a request to hold a public hearing, approve, and adopt.
Okay, Madam Manager, did you want to say something before we open it up?
I just wanted to highlight the changes that were made between first and second reading. All of the changes that were made were based on the consensus of the commission. There was a change to the title of Village Commission Compensation to include the word reimbursement. Under General Government, an expense was added for the Miami-Dade tax collection fee. While it's an expense, it is balanced by the revenue collection amount under revenues. And the expense is $1,600 based on 1% of $160 million in ad valorem taxes. In the code compliance budget, the professional services item was increased from $9,147 to $17,000. In order to accommodate this increase, $7,700. I have an extra number here. Let me verify that number, please. Thank you. $7,853 from the village's fund balance, which is our reserves, will be transferred into the general fund balance in order to balance the budget. Additionally, between first and second reading, we were able to reconcile the August 31st actuals. So the actual column, which is the second one in from the right on all of your spreadsheets, is the most current information for the month of August and has been reconciled by our finance manager. We are available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll open it up to public comment. Seeing none, we'll close that. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Vice Mayor Anderson, second by Commissioner Jonas. Roll call, please. Or any discussion? Questions? Okay.
I'm sorry, just question to the manager, and I think we talked about this earlier, I'm sure we talked about this earlier today. When you say that the 831 numbers are reconciled, and 830, there's still another month left in this budget, and plus there are like annual year-end ledger entries and postings that will affect these numbers. So, I mean, these are not the actual true numbers. They're just what we have booked right now through August 31. Okay, very good. Just one request for an allocation, particularly in light of the roundtable that we had on Saturday, dealing with recreation and the programs here, and some of the discussion that went on. I want to renew my request for a seasonal part-time person to help out here at the rec center, particularly in the summer months when we have extended hours. If we could allocate, and it would be coming from the reserves, $5,000 maybe to cover, or some amount to cover those extra hours and give some relief to our regular staff at the rec park.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I'll support Commissioner Ross for $5,000 after the roundtable discussion.
Okay. Commissioner Watts, any comments on that?
I'd rather not support it. I'm again in favor of getting interns to help with that kind of thing, a part-time job. And I would rather transfer funds to a project to have overall lighting for the park, an overall plan. And I would suggest too that we take money that was for the part of the $135,000 set aside for a dais. And again, I think that we should just wait on that for a while or consider other designs, because I think the people of Biscayne Park would be better served by a full lighting plan and lighting of some of the very dim streets. I think that more than the few people that are out here and look and watch us sitting here, how many people in Biscayne Park really care about the dais? I think that the money could be more responsibly spent.
Okay. Commissioner Jonas, comments?
Yeah, and I guess maybe I'll address two issues at the same time. I had a conversation, which I have from time to time. The last time I had it was this afternoon, and it was about what the recreation department is for and for whom it is, and whether it's our responsibility to provide services for people who don't live in Biscayne Park. And my feeling is that, I mean, on the one hand, it's certainly one of the things that any community can do is to provide something not only for itself, but even for outsiders. It's sort of a kind of a normal civilized thing to do. But beyond that, and I'm thinking both about this and the dais issue, we have been the recent recipients of a very generous amount of money from the state of Florida. It was over $1 million that all of the citizens of Florida gave us so that we could build ourselves an administration building and renovate the log cabin. Now, the fact of the matter is that our administration building and the log cabin have no meaning and no value at all to anybody who lives anywhere in Florida except the people who live in Biscayne Park. And I think if we can be accepting of that kind of generosity from the state of Florida, then we can certainly do two things. One is we can make minimal recreational services and facilities available to our neighbors, and we can build ourselves a very nice dais that does proper credit to the building that the state of Florida just helped us renovate, and which we could not have renovated without them. So I would be more than supportive of Roxy's request. I'm afraid maybe it's not enough at $5,000, but certainly that.
Okay. I mean, the roundtable was definitely a good step, and I thank you, Manager, for organizing that. But I think there was 3 residents, maybe 4 residents there. And it was a good discussion, but I don't think that took the place of a broader discussion that we're going to have this coming year in the future about the park. Not so much the programming, which the roundtable was about, but just the broader use of the park, and so I don't think that took the place of that. But I'm fine with $5,000 if you're telling me that you need that our current staff needs part-time assistants. Is that accurate?
I think Commissioner Ross's concern, and I can concur with that, is during the summer season in the afternoon when we get extra busy because the children are out of school. And by afternoon, I mean starting at 1 as opposed to starting at 4 like we do now, to have some extra help around here. I understand the previous discussions that when she has brought this up at the commission, and I certainly think that can be helpful to us.
So what would that cover? It would be part-time,
For
it would be
3
one,
months.
it would be one person on a part-time basis for 3 months?
An additional body for 3 months.
Mhm.
Most likely, it would be a high school student or someone on college break that is looking for seasonal employment.
And we can't achieve that same with an intern? That's like Commissioner Watts suggested. I mean, have we looked at that?
I haven't explored that, no.
It
I mean-
doesn't preclude exploring that, but it
Right.
gives the allocation. If the candidate doesn't volunteer, then we can hire someone.
Right.
It's no different than the allocation that y'all have done for the code. We all agreed, we don't know how many hours, but
Well,
it was
it-
good to just put 17,000 in there, you know, as a.
Right, but it is different in that you're not going to get a volunteer code person. I mean,
No, I'm just saying that allocating the money doesn't necessarily mean that it will be spent.
no, understood,
It
understood.
gives us the option as we get closer to that season.
I mean, I'm fine in putting it in for 5,000 as a one-time thing. I mean, again, we're going to have a broader discussion about the park, but with the caveat that you pursue volunteer help before hiring someone. Are you okay with that?
Sure, could be explored.
Okay.
I just worry about taking more money, not putting money into the reserves and taking money out of reserves for something. I think that we should, if we really want this, we should cut corners elsewhere in the budget.
Okay. Any other comments? No? No? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify what's happening here, there was a motion to approve the budget as presented. There was a second. Before I went to roll call vote, Commissioner Ross offered a friendly amendment to add a $5,000 line item for, I believe, a parks worker. So if, what I would suggest doing at this point is calling another vote to determine whether or not the budget is accepted with the friendly amendment. And then it's an up or down vote based on that.
Okay.
So
All right.
moved.
So this, just to, for the mechanics of the budget, this would add $5,000 to the revenue line of transfers in, because we would be taking it from the reserves, and it would add $5,000 roughly to the Parks and Rec part-time salaries, but it would actually be less because we're gonna have to break that down for some of the burdens that we're required to do as well.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be an even, when you see the final budget
Right.
come October 1st, it's not gonna be an even 5,000 in that line.
Okay, so so you're moving with that amendment? So motion by Commissioner Jonas?
And I'll second.
Second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Watts?
No.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Jonas?
Yeah.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes.
And Mayor Coviello?
Yes. Okay, motion carries 4-1. Any other announcements? Or manager, anything else? Okay. Commissioner Watts.
Okay, I just noticed on my calendar that October 1st is the deadline for the Villagers Grant. And, you know, we just got $5,000 last year, and I was looking at Phase 4, and there are some parts of that Phase 4 that also are for historic, and I was wondering if you had planned to apply for it. I don't think it's a really long grant.
Yeah, I think, Madam Manager.
Yeah, it's been in the, it's been something that we've been doing quietly because the villagers actually, and it's been in the manager's report, that the villagers actually approached the village. They're looking for a big project to showcase their work here in Northeast Miami-Dade County. So we are a finalist to receive a different amount of money. I don't feel comfortable discussing it publicly because I don't know where they are in their process and what promises they might have made to other projects, but we were a finalist among finalists among finalists, and we pretty much have been given the verbal nod that we are going to get a larger than $5,000 sum of money, so I'm waiting for that information from them. They have all our paperwork, but they approached us. I've spent an afternoon here in the village reviewing the progress at the log cabin, and
I was wondering, do they know about the dais? Or did you just send
yes, they
Heisenbottle's
do.
report?
Yes, they
Okay.
do. They're not funding the
Yeah.
dais.
And I was just curious, because I'm just, maybe it's I misplaced it.
And I'm happy
But in the
to
Heisenbottle, on the
discuss.
Heisenbottle report, there said nothing about the dais, the August
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then when we did the RFQ or whatever, then it appears, the dais.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered, I don't think the commission had a discussion about whether or not we wanted to add a dais, and that was not included in Heisenbottle's original
Mr.
estimate.
Heisenbottle included it in his final drawings.
Well, who asked him to do it?
Mr.
Because he didn't.
Heisenbottle.
He asked to do it for you.
He put it in himself.
Yes, but who approached him
Nobody.
and said?
Mr. Heisenbottle presented the plans with the dais in it as a complete project. He figured if it was being done, it should include it in it.
Okay, thank you.
And just for clarification, those
And I
Heisenbottle's
understand that.
final plans were what was submitted to, my understanding is, those final plans were submitted to the Miami-Dade County Preservation Board.
Yes, ma'am.
Historic Preservation Board.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
their approval of the project included a dais.
Correct.
Okay. Commissioner Watts, anything else?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Anderson? Anything? Okay, I just have one thing before announcements. Green Day is coming up. I don't know if you're all aware, but Green Day is a street festival in the village of Miami Shores. What is the date? Do you have it? Nobody? I will look.
Where's the check?
I'll tell you. Hold on one second.
It's a Saturday, October 24th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, it's Saturday, October 24th, and last year the Village of Biscayne Park had a booth, so we'll have one again this year. So anyone interested in attending, it's a fun day. Contact staff, and we'll coordinate staffing the booth.
Yeah, it would be great if the commission can help cycle in and out and staff the booth. Shalisa will be coordinating it, and we'll all take turns cycling in and out.
Okay, wonderful. All right, announcements?
I just want to, if I can just say something in closing, I just want to thank the commission for the cooperation and communication during this budget process. By accident, I stumbled upon another city's budget process, and I was amazed by the lack of communication between that commission and their staff, and how the staff was not able to be prepared. So I just want to say that we've had a very smooth budget process, and I appreciate your role in that smooth budget process. It's definitely been easy on us on this side of the.
No, and thank you and staff for
Thank
doing
you.
such a wonderful
Really,
job.
Thank you, because I saw how it could have been, and this was very nice. Thank you.
All right, here's our famous clerk.
The Rec Advisory Board meeting changed from this past Tuesday to next Tuesday, the 29th, and our next regular commission meeting is Tuesday, October 6th at 7 p.m.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Motion to adjourn?
All right. Thank you all for attending.